Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and today calls for an emergency unboxing. And if that sounds a little drastic, I hear you. Not a lot of unboxings are actual emergencies, and granted, this one isn't either, but I just opened a package that I got, not being sure what was in it, which generally, honestly, most of the time I open a package, I'm not sure what's in it. I know the various things that are coming my way at any given point, the games I bought, the review copy showing up. I generally have some idea of what's showing up. This, I didn't. I had no idea this was showing up. I opened up a bag, it was a little padded, there's a padded bubble mailer, but like a large bubble mailer, like not one of the small ones, like it's a full-size box, and I opened it up, I cut into it, and then I got a little surprise. And so here we are with our emergency unboxing, because again, emergency that it is, no coffee mind you, I already had my afternoon coffee, and I'm not going to have another afternoon coffee, not for this video, so instead going to have our emergency unboxing, and this knife will definitely not be wagged and thrown in someone's face, hopefully. So, what do we have for you here? We have, and I should note, I know as much as you do right now. Well, that's not true. In a second, I'll know as much as you do. We have Army of the Dead Zombicide. Now, this is not completely out of the blue. Simon announced Army of the Dead Zombicide, what, 2 years ago by now? Like, a while ago. Like, this was announced a long time ago, but we officially have over here Army of the Dead Zombicide, or Army of the Dead, Simon, Netflix, a Zombicide game over here, game by Fel Barros and Fabio Tola, from an original design by Guillotine, Lillian, and Rote. And then we have the Guillotine Games logo as well, so we got that involved. We got the back of the box view over here, and we are going to go ahead and unbox this. And make no mistake, we're going to unbox this. We will have a gameplay for you, we will have a review for you, because I like the Zombicide series, and I also liked the Army of the Dead movie. Now, movie? It was a movie, yes, it was a movie. I like the Army of the Dead movie. It was fun to watch. So, when I say I know as much as you, what I mean by that is, I know that 2 years ago, Simon announced that they were doing an Army of the Dead Zombicide game. And then we haven't heard anything in who knows how long since then, which, by the way, that's happened to us before. Was it Simon who was going to do a Last of Us board game, and that never happened? Simon was going to do a, what was it again? The Taboo system. They're going to do a Zombicide Taboo system. Never heard anything about it. Simon, and by the way, Simon, when you inevitably watch this video, I will say, it would be nice every once in a while if when you announce something and then shelve that project, it would be nice if you just told us if we could stop expecting it, because otherwise, like, there's people, myself included, who are still wondering about The Last of Us. There's people who are still wondering about the Zombicide Taboo. And so, if those things aren't happening and you know that, saying so could be nice. If they are happening and you know that, saying so could be nice. If they are maybe happening and you know that, saying so could be nice. Stop people from continuously being disappointed every time you announce a new crowdfunding campaign, because they're like, this is the time, this is it, this is when we get The Last of Us. By the way, my own personal notes, I'm assuming we're never seeing The Last of Us, I'm assuming we're never seeing Taboo. Then again, I was starting to assume we're never seeing Army of the Dead, so I don't know if I'm right anymore. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into a few things before we open up this box. Number one, this is not a sponsored video. I didn't even know this was showing up at my door. I had no idea. So that's number one. Number two is, and by the way, in general, I don't always announce if a video is not sponsored. I usually only announce when a video is sponsored. With Simon, they've done enough sponsored content on the channel that I announce nowadays when it's not sponsored, just for full clarity and transparency and all that. Number two is, I know nothing else about this game. So if you're expecting an informed unboxing, if you want something where I tell you about the differences between this and Zombicide, you're not going to get that in this video. I will attempt to figure it out to some extent as I go, and I hope you bear with me along the way, but I don't yet know the differences, so if you're expecting that, this is not the video for you. Number three, I will definitely have a review for you and a gameplay for you in reverse order. I'll have a gameplays. I'm likely going to be trying to table this in like a day or two, and this video, if I have my way, you're going to see this video the day after it's filmed. Separately from that, I will be diving into this hopefully tomorrow. The day you see this video, I'll hopefully be playing the game. And then from there, I'll be playing it again, and then doing a film playthrough, and then probably doing a review of the game. I'll also say that based on Zombicide Night of the Living Dead, I'm excited-ish, I'm kind of excited, but I'm also, holding back any hopes. Night of the Living Dead, I felt was an easier Zombicide. I didn't actually play it, sorry, I take it back. Night of the Living Dead, I heard, was a much easier to play Zombicide, and I think that's probably because of the mass market aspect of it. They probably made it a little lighter, a little easier to play than your typical Zombicide, and the most consistent thing I have disliked about Zombicide games is when they are too easy and they're not enough of a challenge. So the art has me very interested, I'm excited about it, I like the movie, so all those things are good, but my worry that it might be mass market might mean that this might be a great Zombicide for some people, and possibly not a great Zombicide for me. You'll find out more when we have the review, because I'll go into my thoughts and opinions on that. I think that's enough of all the stuff you need to know. And so with that, let's go ahead and open up the box and see what we have. Again, I know nothing here. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a straight to retail game, almost certainly, because I feel like this looks too nice to not be to be a prototype. Especially, I've done it with a lot of CMON prototypes over the years, and this does not look like a prototype. It looks like straight to retail, so it looks finalized over here. This is a little bit like misaligned over here. We'll get into that shortly. We have the rules. We have our confidential missions. Is that actually confidential? Like, is this actually meant to be confidential? We're going to find out soon enough. We have our insert over here. You know what? Let's start doing it this way. We're going to move this. You know, we'll keep this on camera. We'll take these out and see what we got. So we got your tiles, which we'll go through all of these shortly. We have a chunk full of miniatures. Oh boy. Oh boy. We got our taped on thingies over here because this is CMON. They like their little plastic tray tape over here. So we're going to take that off. We got very, very pink player dashboards, which we'll go through soon enough. We have some pegs over here, which do look marginally different. Let's see. Let's go through this. And I feel like this feels like a madhouse. I hear you. And then lastly, we have the miniatures, but we'll save those for last. Let's go everything except for the miniatures first. I'll save the miniatures for last. Let's start with the rulebook and then dive into all the other assorted paraphernalia. And again, I have no idea how long this unboxing will be. We don't have our huge, multi-box unboxings going on, but we are going to try to find out as much as we possibly can, starting with the rulebook. Now, this is a typical Zombicide rulebook over here. We are looking at 32 pages, which, again, if you've played Zombicide, it's going to be very, very consistent to what you're used to over here. We have the missions in the back, so let's go ahead to the missions. Let's Zeus spawn point. Oh my gosh, are these all missions? No, these are not missions. No, wait, where are the missions? Oh, the missions are not going to be in here. Interesting. The missions are going to be in the other file. Okay, so the missions are going to be in here, which makes me think this is not actually confidential. Again, CMON, if we're taking notes, calling this confidential missions has a very nice thematic element, and it'll be great for anyone who's approaching this game from the mass market stance, where they're diving into this game and they're like, confidential missions, that sounds so cool. But we is a relative term. Many of the people who are in your target audience, who are, more, who played a lot of board games, there are legacy games out there, and saying something is confidential means I can't open this until I'm sure it's not confidential. But we'll come back to that in a second. It might actually be confidential, I don't actually know. So we have our list of player skills over here. It seems fairly standard. We have, again, in general, the Zombicide system, there's two ways it operates. There's the Marvel Zombies Deceased Zombicide, which both have skills on the individual player cards, and then there's the rest of them, which have a whole host of skills that you can just reference on the individual cards. So that's what we got over there. We got that. We got our, let's start from the beginning. So the beginning over here, we have our 12 survivors, our 50 zombies, including a mounted Zeus, which if you've watched Army of the Dead, we have all those characters over there. We have Zeus, mounted Zeus, the Queen, and Valentine. Oh my gosh, the tiger! The tiger's in here. That's delightful. We have, let's go ahead and zoom in just a tad over here, try to get a bit more of a zoom in on the book, and then anything else we show as well. So we got our 6 dice, our ammo, our trackers, all these typical stuff, our introduction, thousands of protesters marched in the Capitol, setup. Okay, Army Dead, open the mission folder and choose a mission file. Right about now, I'm starting to believe this is not a confidential situation. So we open the folder, choose a mission file, place the tiles to indicate the mission file. Okay, this all looks fairly standard. Let's see how quickly we can figure out differences. Game overview. Do they have a differences from typical Zombicide section? It's always hard to do that because if you're playing a Zombicide game, how do you classify the differences? From which Zombicide? There's so many at this point, it's hard to keep track of what you should be trying to differentiate. But this does look so far fairly standard. I think the thing I'm going to do is at the end of the rules, I'm going to focus on the back of the rulebook and see what it goes into as far as the general player aid to see if there's an obvious difference. But again, so far seems pretty consistent to your general type of Zombicide. We have a priority order, our Shamblers first, our Alphas and Abominations. Shamblers, Alphas, Abominations. Are there only 2 types of zombies? We got 50 zombies, we have Alphas and Shamblers. That's all we have. Oh, so we already have a difference. Okay, let's come back for a second. Do we have, where are the zombie phase? Attack, move, zombie select a destination. Playing Alphas. Alphas have 2 actions per activation. So it looks like we have Shamblers and Alphas. We don't have your typical previously fatties. I think they now call them brutes, if I'm not mistaken. So we no longer have brutes, but Alphas are their runners. They have 2 actions per activation. Okay, and we have our spawn phase. So in that sense, it's already dumbing it down to a degree by taking out a certain class of zombie, which again, not inherently a problem, but it does make me a little less excited because my biggest complaint against recent Zombicide games has always been the lack of zombie variation, and it looks like that's taking it even further with further lack of zombie variation. Now we do have those kind of bosses type situations, so we'll see how those manifest in a second. Let's go through the player phase. Move, you have, each survivor has 3 actions. We can move a zone, that sounds good. We can search, that seems reasonable. Building zone, free of zombies only. Reorganize trade, combat action, eliminate sleepers. this takes 2 actions. Eliminate sleepers. What is eliminate sleepers? So we're trying to find the differences in your Zombicide game. I just damaged my rulebook for a second. Eliminate sleepers. We have attack, and that's the zombie phase. We have the player phase. The survivor can use 2 actions with any melee weapon to remove 1 sleeper token in the same zone. This action does not count as a melee action, and no combat roll is needed, but if the weapon makes noise, move the noise token to the zone. In this case, the noise token will wake sleepers in adjacent zones. Each sleeper token removed this way gives the survivor's AP equal to the number of Shamblers shown on the token. Sleeper tokens can never be targeted by combat actions. They are only removed by the eliminate sleeper action or when they are awoken. Okay. Okay. The sleeper must flip the sleeper token. Okay. That looks basic enough. I'm just following some of the noise rules about that. So where are the sleepers bad? That's the question. Because if we go back to here, do we have a section where sleepers are going to spawn? Like, what are sleepers exactly? Are they just a management game that you have to be mindful of? Are certain cards going to activate them? So I'm not totally clear on the sleeper situation, but at least that is a difference to be mindful of. We have make noise, we have take activate an objective, and then we have the zombie phase, activation, attack. Oh, we have sleepers. Okay, fine. We have activation, attack, move, spawn. This is all fairly basic. Wait, no. Attack, and then move. Okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. Okay, great. So we have activation, attack, move, spawn, and then we have sleepers wake up when. Any noise is produced in the same or adjacent zone. Search actions and activating objectives also immediately wakes up the sleepers. Zombies move into a zone with sleeper tokens. Survivors move out of a zone with sleeper tokens unless the survivor has a stealthy specialty. Roll a die, and if one is rolled, those sleepers have awakened. So we've gotten rid of the brutes. We have sleepers. I can take that as a decent trade-off as far as something new. Although, one of the problems with the Zombicide system is the more of them you have, the more you have to like learn all these minute details that are different between them, and then remember them every time you're playing, which is why I don't keep all my Zombicides, even though I like all my Zombicides. In fact, I would argue that there's very few 5 out of 5 games. Like when I rank games and I rank a game like 5 out of 5, there's very few that have ever left that I gave a 5 out of 5, but less so that left while it was still a 5 out of 5. So for example, I think since I've been reviewing games, I think the only 5 out of 5 games, there's 2 5 out of 5 games that have left my collection since I've started reviewing games, since the past 4 years or whatever it's been now. One of them was Destiny's. I gave Destiny's a 5 out of 5. I had it in my collection for 2.5, 3 years. It slowly did move down. I found other games that did the same thing better without the app, and so ultimately Destiny's eventually kind of moved down to a 4.5, then a 4, and then it did leave my collection. And I don't love that. I'd rather, if I'm going to be hyped and excited about a game, I want that to last like 5+ years, not like 2.5, 3 years. So it happens sometimes, but I don't love it. The other one would be Zombicide Undead or Alive, which I gave a 5 out of 5, and to this day is still a 5 out of 5. The only tricky part there is I have too many Zombicide games. It doesn't matter how much I like a game, if it's too similar to another game, I have to keep the best of the best. And for me, the best of the best in the Zombicide genre are currently going to be Black Plague and then Marvel Zombies. And within that I include Black Plague, Green Horde, Marvel Zombies, Deceased, and then we'll see how White Death fares. So Undead or Alive is the only game that has ever left my collection while still being a 5 out of 5. Meaning not it was a 5 out of 5 and over time it shifted, it is still a 5 out of 5 and I just had to go. Anyways, some review commentary there. We have Bert Cummings over here, who has Tactician, 1 action, free move action. Do we have rolls? So it looks like they have rolls over here. Those little symbols in the top corner, those must have some impact. There we go. Stealthy. Okay, so they have these little classes. This is actually, speaking of Undead or Alive, this is going to be somewhat similar to Undead or Alive, where they have their little roll on the card in addition to their types of actions, which we'll go more into that, but that seems decent enough. We have Chambers, we have Blake Tanaka, we have Mikey Guzman, we have Lily, we have Martin, we have Marianne Peters, Kate Ward, Vanderho, Maria Cruz, Ludwig Dieter, and then Scott Ward, who obviously is, oh my gosh, what's his name? The main actor. He's in the Guardians of the Galaxy. Dave Bautista. So that's going to be Scott Ward over here. A born leader. He's got the +1 health, the bruiser trait over here. Equipment set 1, Scott's military rifle and ammo clip. Equipment set 2, grenade launcher and machete. Don't know what those are. I don't know if those are starting types of gear you can have, if they all have a different set of starting gear. But anyways, that's going to be your basic advisors. Oh, and if you haven't played Zombicide before, the way this will work is that effectively, this is going to be their health clip over here, but they're also gaining experience. So you're going to have a little board over here that's going to be tracking their experience. You have the card over here. And as you kill zombies, your slider moves up, and as your slider moves up, you unlock a yellow ability, then an orange ability, then a red ability. Not all of them, but one of them of your choice, meaning you're building and developing your character as you go, based on either, well, your playing preference, the needs of the team at that moment, any of those things. I do like the hot pink, by the way. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and show you the hot pink boards, which I just did, but now we'll focus on them. There you go. There's the hot pink boards. Anyways, now that we've done that, let's go ahead and put these back in here. I'm going to put everything back slowly but surely. And again, I hope to be playing this sooner rather than later because, well, because I want to. We have these cards over here, these dice over here, not cards. We have these dice. We're going to have those. We have our little symbol over here. That's going to be your miss, I assume. Yeah, that's going to be your hit. That's going to be your guaranteed miss. These any different? These are just regular. What are these? Huh. Why do they have 2 of these special dice and the rest are basic? Not entirely sure why that is, or if they matter at all. Like, is there a difference? They only give you 2 special dice? I don't know the answer. These little pips over here, they are slightly differently designed than previous ones. I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference, but let's go ahead and try to show you these. So there's slight grooves in these. I don't know if you can see them, but there's slight grooves to them that are nice. I like the textured element of it, but you know, these are the little trackers you'll be matching to the character along with their matching base and the board, and then just using those for your health tracking and your ability tracking and all of that. So we've gotten through most of this over here. We still got our special missions to go through, our very confidential missions that are clearly not confidential. I say clearly, but I'm still worried that they are a little confidential. I'm going to toss this plastic down over here, and we are going to go through these. So we have your these cards over here, spawn 4 Shamblers, all of these. We got our, whatever these are, we got our gears and bolts. Mechanic, once per challenge, change 1 die to any value. Okay, spikes and, what are these? This is interesting. I don't know what these are, but they're fun. They're little things, a little kind of like perks you can unlock. Technical system. Then we have over here, we have our actual zombie cards. We have the Queen over here, who's going to spawn at the 2 highest tiers, but not the lower tiers. We have Valentine, who will spawn at anything except for blue, because as you're playing the game, you're trying not to level up too fast, because it's going to have more zombies. You have alphas popping up over there in large hordes. You have Shamblers left, right, and center. You have your individual, whatever these are, your personal objectives. There are personal objectives. That's interesting. Cunning must perform an action with any explosive in any spawn zone. So this is interesting. I'm intrigued by this. We have our taco truck, so that's going to be, the taco truck looks like a general taco truck. Then you have all the gear. So these are going to be the gear from Zombicide. It's going to show you the type of gear, the range, the amount of dice you roll, something to do. Oh, that's going to be, oh, is there a breaking weapon situation? There's a breaking weapon situation. Interesting. I think there's a breaking weapon situation. I'll have to read the rules. We have your what you hit on, and then what type of enemy it hits, like how much damage does it deal. Which I don't know if that's even a factor in this game. Like, is it a factor? Because so far they're all ones. Oh, we got a 2. We got a 2. But do any of them need anything more than that? I don't know yet. We have booby traps in here in the search deck. So lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of gear. And then we have a mounted Zeus over here. He's a 2 strength. Okay, so there is a 2 strength. I don't know if there's a lot. We have our helmeted Zeus, who's a 2 strength. And then our alphas 2 strength. What are our alphas? Where are the alphas? Our alphas are, doesn't specify over here. I assume our alphas are 1 strength, but I have to look at the rules. So that's going to be your stack of cards, which means now we're going to go to the tokens. We'll get to the miniatures soon. We got you, we got you. You know what, let's do the missions first, because it's right here and I can open it. So, we're opening our mission pack. I'm going to look at it first to make sure it doesn't look spoilerific. It doesn't. It looks like just individual sheets of paper over here. Mission 1, to the rescue. It looks like they're taking him to Olympus. I never figured out exactly how it works. All I know is they take you there and there. You come out like one of them, one of the fast ones. We didn't really plan for this to be a rescue mission, but there seems to be civilians trapped inside the hotel. 1 second. The duration is long, and the difficulty is hard. Do they have mission 2 is short and medium? I don't understand the... Okay. The difficulties, mediums, and hards. We have very hard, so we have a mission of very hard. We have, again, hard. We have medium. We have hard. So we have 1 very hard, a bunch of hards, a bunch of mediums, and not a single easy, which I'm okay with, but I'm curious how that ranking system is. So it looks like we'll be playing mission 1 for you on camera. I mean, I don't know the exact details here. I'll go through it all later, but we will be playing mission 1 for you on camera, so you can go ahead and enjoy this experience. So that's going to be as far as how that operates. It should be fairly straightforward. Again, if you've played Zombicide, it's going to have a lot of the same basic concepts, but we'll see how and where it differs, and I'm excited to dive into it. Again, I have no idea how difficult it'll be. That's going to be my main thing, but I'm excited to dive into it. Then, we got this over here, so let's go ahead and open this, open these, take things out, and see what we got. Alright. So, we got our sleeper tokens over here. We got our spawn points, I assume. So, sleeper tokens, spawn points over here, the extra token, various terrain elements that I have no clue what they do yet because I haven't yet played this game or fully read the rulebook, so I just skimmed it. And then we have our individual player tiles over here. So, let's go ahead and put some player tiles out for you or just show you the front and back of each of these. So we got our front, and then we got our back. Okay, ooh, helicopter. It's a helicopter. I mean, there is a helicopter in the game, so that makes thematic sense. And then in the movie, we have our front, and we have our back. We have our very, very colorful front with a lot of dead bodies. This looks like the hall of the casino. They have a really cool shot in the movie, if you watch it, where like the zombies are moving in slow-mo through the casino. And there's like, I think there's an old lady, if I recall correctly. But again, it was a good movie. It was kind of just like action and, you know, not really a thinking. It wasn't a particularly... It was an action movie. It was a fun action movie. It was a beer and popcorn movie, a beer and pretzels movie. Is that what you call it? A light... I don't know what you call it. What's the genre? But either way, we've got these over here. So we got more of these tiles for you. Is that from? I don't remember. But either way. And then we have this, which is a very interesting... Oh, is this the... This is the vault. This is the vault, right? I think so. Is that the vault tile? Like, they had a vault scene where they're in the hallway and they're trying to break into the vault, and there's like, I think there was a gas canister or something, I don't remember exactly, but this must be that. I've never seen a Zombicide tile like this. I love the idea of it. Like, if you have something like, I mean, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but if something like this over here, that means as you go into the vault, since there is no retreat, because I assume you're going to have something like this over here, which gives you the entrance to the vault or something. I don't know for sure, but that's my kind of rough guess. But as you have something like that, or you can also even have fun things like a secret passageway off to the side, which, again, I don't know what the actual plans are, but maybe something like that. But as you wander in here, you're getting the cash, you're getting the reserves, but you're also entering into a place where you can't really easily escape without just blasting your way out. Because one of the things you can do in Zombicide is you can kite your way around the board. But if there's only a dead end, then you have to fight to get out, which introduces a different element that I can appreciate. And so that's what we have as far as our tiles, which brings us to the thing you've been waiting for, the miniatures. Let's go ahead and go into the miniatures, although first we're going to have to cut the tape on this because, again, Simon likes their tape. We'll go there, and there, and then there, and there. And we're going to go ahead. We got our knife. Our knife can now be put out of commission for the rest of this video. And then we're going to go ahead and show you the various miniatures. So this can go off to the side. Let's show you all the enemies first, and then we'll deal with the heroes as well. There's 12 heroes, lots of heroes to go through. So there's not going to be a ton of stuff to go through. I'll try to zoom in a drop over here on our camera. So let's go ahead and zoom in more and more. This is going to be your basic walker in the game. So nothing crazy. It's a standard walker, or I think they call them a Shambler. Is that what they call them? We have our Shamblers. No, that's not true. This is not a Shambler. I apologize. This is an Alpha. So we have 3 sculpts. The darker ones are the Alphas, and we have 3 basic sculpts for them. That's Sculpt 1. We also have over here Sculpt 2, and then we're going to show you Sculpt 3 in a second. Again, nothing crazy over here. The mold lines look fine, sculpts look fine. It's not, not Simon's best work, not their worst work, but then again, these are the basic zombie hordes. I don't expect a lot from them. From there, we're going to have, well, I don't even know what these are, these bodyguard characters. You know what, let's do those last. Let's show you some basic walkers first, or Shamblers. They're Shamblers. Okay, we got 3 sculpts over here. We got a 4th sculpt. We have a lot of sculpts here. Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Okay, I'll show you what the I love it was in a second. But let's start with the arguably a preacher. So we have a preacher sculpt. We have like 6 sculpts, something like that. So we have our preacher sculpt over here. Let's go to, oops, sorry about that. We have our preacher sculpt holding his little Bible or something. Could just be a person holding a book, honestly. We have our chef, I guess. Looks like a chef in some way. Can't tell exactly, but seems something along those lines. We have our, I think this one is like kind of, I don't even know what this one is. Well, let's just show you 2 of them over here. 2 for the price of 1. So we got these guys over here. And again, don't know exactly what they are, but they're doing the job overall. And then we have, I'm saving my favorite one for last. Let's go ahead and do these ones over here. Let's show, this is probably the waitress sculpt. So a 3 for 1, because I could do my favorite one for last. So a 3 for 1 over here. As far as these different sculpts, she looks a bit like a waitress. Can't tell if the others are anything specific. But then my favorite one from these basic sculpts is going to be, although this also might be a basic walker. I'm going to show you one more that might be a basic Shambler. This one over here. I think it's a basic Shambler. It's in a different box, but there's 3 of them, and they seem to come in sets of 3. But then we have my favorite, which is Elvis. We have 3 of these little Elvis impersonators, which makes sense because you're in Vegas over here. So we have Elvis as a zombie, which is amazing, frankly. And then I'm going to put these back over here. Give me a second to find where they go as accurately as possible. And then I'll be right with you with more things to look at. This goes over there. This goes over here. This goes over here. This goes over here. And this goes over here. Great, we're done. So now I'll show you the basic, the more advanced zombies and whatnot, one at a time. And then from there, we'll show you the Oh, we got another. Oh, this is also probably a basic walker. A Shambler. This is also probably a Shambler, because again, they have 3 of these over here. That's going to be, looks like an Indian headdress, although it might just be, oh no. Oh no. Is this one of those like street girls who wants to take photographs with you in Vegas, who like walk up to you and then try to charge you $20 when it seemed like it would be free? It's a hustler. It's a hustler. I'd say she deserved what she got, but that seems unreasonably cruel to someone who's just trying to make it in this world. We have over here, we have the Queen, who I wish was more of a different color so it was more obvious, but she's got a stand-out enough sculpt that I think you can tell. We have, what's his name? Zeus over here? Is that what's his name again? Zeus is going to be your basic Zeus over here. And then we have Zeus on a horse, which is, again, going to be fairly intimidating. I hope he chases you down, runs fast, all that. And again, this is going to be a retail Zombicide release, so you're not going to have the variety you might have from typical Zombicide. And then we have this guy over here who is, you know, the tiger. I can't remember his name. What was his name again? I don't remember. Valentine? Was that it? But either way, that's what we got for your basic zombies. Now, well, we'll talk some notes at the end. Let's do some heroes. I guess I'll do all the heroes, but I'm probably going to do them in sets of 2, and we'll see how well they show up, because the details are fine, but they're small miniatures. Let's see what we can do for you. So we have the first 2 heroes over here. I don't know any of the names offhand, just to save you some time over there. We got the next batch, meaning they have names, but like, I don't remember them at this point. I don't remember even Dave Bautista. I don't remember his, you know, actual name in the game. But we have, although I should watch it again. It was a good movie. It was an enjoyable movie. We have this guy over here. These 2. I thought they're coming out. Did they come out with a new Army of the Dead? Did they? Or did they already have one? Didn't they have like a follow-up with the Safecracker Kid? Or did I already watch that? Wasn't it a 3-part series? I may have watched 2 of the 3-part series. Now I can't remember fully. Although that does leave potential room for there to be more of these. But my guess is this is a one-off. I'm guessing this is a single one-off Army of the Dead Zombicide. You know, in case some Marvel zombies wasn't enough. We have Dave. We have Dave over here. So we got Dave Bautista over here as your, you know, singular hero. And that's what we got. My expectation is that I'm going to have fun. I almost inherently assume this is not a keeper for me within the Zombicide ecosystem. Not because there's anything wrong with it, but my assumption, without having played it yet, is that this would have to be amazing to compensate for the fact that it doesn't have the variety that Deceased will have, Marvel Zombies will have, and all those games. So, in general, when I like a Zombicide game, I want all the fun content. And I don't know if I'll be able to get all the fun content because this is a retail release. I don't know if there are expansions coming or not. I know nothing about any of this. Again, I'm only just finding this out today, so I'm intrigued. I am excited to play this. I don't imagine it will end up being a keeper because the competition is too fierce in this in the specific theme that this game is. But again, it's not a ding against the game. I'm saying it could be amazing. It could be as good as Marvel Zombies, and I still just want the variety that Marvel Zombies brings to the table. So that's where I am kind of with this. I'm excited to play it. I think I'll have fun with it. I'm excited to show it to you, to talk about it. I think there's definitely an audience for stuff like this, because the nice thing about board games is not every board game has to be for you. Sometimes a board game could be for somebody else. Sometimes a board game can be the thing that brings somebody else into the hobby. Sometimes a big fan of Army of the Dead sees this in Barnes & Nobles and is like, oh my gosh, I want to see more about this. They don't necessarily realize at the time that they're signing up for a 32-page rulebook, but hopefully half of the people who buy it, at least, decide to go through the 32-page rulebook. Maybe some of them decide to go on YouTube and type in Army of the Dead Zombicide, and this video shows up, or maybe the gameplay I did shows up, or the review I did shows up, although at that point I already bought it. But the point is, not every game has to be for you, for me, for whoever. Games are going to have different audiences. Again, make no mistake, I'm excited to play this. The reality is, I'd rather have all the Marvel Zombies and all the DCs and all the Black Plague than a singular box, because to me, the Zombicide ecosystem thrives on variability. It thrives on having abominations. It thrives on having different zombie types, different heroes. All the things that make the game different are things that, to me, make the game better. And so, we'll see. I'll let you know my thoughts when I play it, or more and all that, or you'll see us play it, and then you'll see a review. This has been an unboxing of Army of the Dead, a Zombicide game from CMON and Netflix and Guillotine. Anyone else we need? CMON, Guillotine, Netflix. Yeah, those three. That's it's good enough. Those three are involved. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.